At 16, you believe your family is rich, powerful, untouchable. Vineyards across Italy. Hotels on the Riviera. Shipping routes through Rotterdam. Politicians smiling too carefully around your father. Nobody says the real word out loud. Mafia. You grow up surrounded by armed guards and whispered conversations that stop when you enter the room. Your father teaches you 3 rules before you turn 12. Never show fear. Never trust ambition. Never ask where the money comes from. You spend years convincing yourself your family is legitimate now. Cleaner. Smarter. Civilized. Then your older brother Luca disappears. No ransom. No body. One moment he's leaving a gala in Vienna, the next every phone in your estate starts ringing after midnight while your father locks himself in a room with armed captains from across Europe. By sunrise, you know something catastrophic happened. Your father summons you to the library. 3 armed men stand behind him silently. Your brother made a mistake, your father says calmly. What kind of mistake? He trusted someone ambitious. Then your father slides a handgun across the desk. That moment changes everything. The Serbian network believes this family has become weak, he says. Tonight you will prove them wrong. You want to refuse. But in families like yours, refusal becomes betrayal eventually. So you take the gun. Hours later, you sit in an armored Mercedes crossing into Serbia beside men who've killed professionally longer than you've been alive. The target is Marko Vukic, a Serbian lieutenant connected to the faction suspected of betraying Luka. You arrive outside a nightclub near the river after midnight. Music shakes the walls. Luxury cars line the street. Inside, chaos erupts instantly. Gunfire. Screaming. Marble walls exploding under bullets. Then you see Vukic running for the kitchen exit. You hesitate for half a second. Because he looks human. Terrified. That hesitation almost gets you killed. One of his men fires first, hitting the captain beside you. Someone screams at you to shoot. So you do. 1 bullet straight between Vukic's eyes. Everything changes after that. That night becomes your real education. Over the next several years, your father trains you through every layer of the organization. Gambling operations in Milan. Money laundering in Barcelona. Political bribery networks across Eastern Europe. You learn power isn't built through violence alone. It's built through fear, debt, secrets, and leverage. Then a Turkish syndicate hijacks one of your family's shipping routes through the Black Sea. Your father gives you authority to handle it. Instead of starting a war, you study their finances. You discover their entire operation depends on one logistics broker in Cyprus. So you destroy the broker financially. Accounts frozen. Investigations launched. Fuel payments blocked. Within days, their empire starts collapsing internally before your family fires a single shot. Then you arrange one meeting in Istanbul. The Turkish leadership arrives expecting negotiation. Instead, you show them photos of their children leaving school alongside evidence proving their own captains planned to betray them. By sunrise, they surrender the routes voluntarily. Your father smiles for the first time afterward. That, he says quietly, is how empires survive. Your reputation spreads quickly after that. Not because you're the most violent man in Europe. Because you understand systems. You make organizations destroy themselves before wars even begin. By 28, you control operations across 9 countries. Politicians contact your intermediaries before elections. Billionaires request private meetings when they need problems handled quietly. You begin seeing how fragile governments really are behind closed doors. Judges buried in gambling debt. Ministers controlled through blackmail. Intelligence officers selling information unofficially. Your family no longer fights the system. It feeds the system. And the dangerous part is how normal it starts feeling. Private jets. Armed convoys. Entire rooms standing when you enter. Power changes your posture before it changes your morality. Then your father suffers a stroke during a summit in Switzerland. Overnight, the empire fractures. Captains begin calculating succession. Rivals delay payments strategically. Even your cousins start forming alliances behind closed doors. Because succession inside criminal empires is never peaceful. Your father publicly transfers leadership to you during a gathering in Sicily attended by nearly every major faction leader connected to the organization. Nobody applauds. They study you instead. Looking for weakness. Weeks later, someone bombs the car of one of your senior accountants in Marseille. Belgian authorities raid warehouses connected to your shipping operations using intelligence too precise to be coincidence. Someone inside your organization is leaking information. You respond brutally. Encrypted communications monitored. Internal audits launched. Suspected traitors disappear quietly after private interrogations. Fear stabilizes the empire. But it poisons it too. Then you discover the truth. Your cousin Matteo orchestrated everything. Charming. Educated. Patient. The kind of man who smiles during funerals while calculating opportunities. You confront him privately inside a vineyard estate outside Florence. You could have worked beside me, you tell him. You mistake caution for strength, Matteo replies calmly. You're trying to run this empire like a corporation. And you think chaos builds loyalty? No, he says quietly. Blood does. Both of you understand only one person leaves the room alive. Matteo reaches for a weapon first. You shoot him twice before he clears leather. This time it's family. And afterward, something inside you goes cold permanently. You stop thinking morally. Only strategically. Under your leadership, the organization evolves into something larger than organized crime. Cybercrime divisions. Political influence operations. Cryptocurrency laundering. Private intelligence networks. A parallel state hidden beneath legitimate society. Then, 8 years after disappearing, Luca returns. Alive. You receive a photograph first. Luca stepping out of an SUV in Istanbul beside men connected to Russian intelligence contractors. Then a message arrives beneath it. You built an empire using my grave. Everything destabilizes instantly. Because Luca was supposed to be dead. His disappearance created your rise. You arrange a secret meeting inside an abandoned cathedral outside Sarajevo. Luca looks older. Harder. They sold me, he says. Who? Our own family. Then he explains everything. Your father sacrificed him years earlier to preserve a strategic alliance threatening the organization's survival. Luca survived only because foreign intelligence groups realized his knowledge had value. Your father traded his own son for power. And handed the empire to you afterward. He was protecting the family, you say weakly. No, Luca replies. He was protecting power. That sentence follows you everywhere afterward. Because suddenly every decision you made starts looking different. Every execution. Every purge. Every loyalty test. You became exactly what your father trained you to become. Then Luca gives you an ultimatum. Help remove your father permanently and divide the empire together. Or prepare for civil war. Back in Sicily, your father waits for you alone in the estate garden overlooking the sea. You met your brother, he says quietly. You sacrificed him. I preserved everything. He was your son. He was replaceable. That answer destroys something inside you forever. For the first time, you truly see your father clearly. Not as a legend. Just a man consumed completely by power. Then he looks directly at you. And so are you. The worst part is knowing he might be right. Because somewhere along the way, you stopped measuring survival morally. You started measuring it strategically. Exactly like him. And standing there above the black waves crashing beneath the cliffs of Sicily, surrounded by guards protecting an empire built on fear, you realize something terrifying. You no longer know whether you're trying to save the family or destroy it before it destroys what remains of you.